Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Identical After Dark, our nerdy little podcast where we talk about gaming, TV, music, movies, and more. My name is Mallo. I am one of your hosts tonight, and I am joined by my co-conspirator, Alex. Say hello to the people.
What's going on, everybody? We got some fun stuff tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show tonight. 100% less MSG tonight. A lot less sodium in the chat, hopefully, maybe. I don't know. I've been prepping some people because I know what we're going to talk about first. And it might divide some people. We'll see.
I don't know how this first topic, because we're going on the rundown you sent me. I don't know how anybody can be divided on this first topic.
I can guarantee you we have enough people out there. It's entirely possible. But before we get to that, a couple of announcements, as usual. There are some links down below to support us for an affiliate of ours, Strategy Coffee. We're big coffee drinkers. I'm drinking tea tonight instead of coffee because I would like to sleep sometime this millennial. But Strategy Coffee, we're going to be partnering with them to make a special Identico blend probably sometime in the future, as we've been working with them for a little bit. They're actually on sale at Alex's shop here in the Seattle area.
They are.
Use that link down below if you want some good coffee beans. Very good prices, and it gets shipped directly to your door. So go check it out right there. It's also another streaming company and another independent business, because that's what we're all about here. Supporting Rising Tide, lifting all the boats. Secondly, if you're making minis, I know I'm making some ROMs coming up this week, and I'm going to be doing that on HeroForge.com, where you can design and make your own minis. And so we're going to be making some ROMs. We're going to be making some stuff for the in-game, the in-store games at Gamer Heaven. So I've got some minis on hand and stuff like that for the game. So go check it out. There's a link down below. That's our affiliate link. Every time you use that link, it kicks a little bit of money back to us and helps us keep the show running. So on top of that, all of the bits and streams and subs and everything like that you all are doing in the chat. If you've got a Prime sub, drop it for us. You're using Amazon's money, and that's okay. It costs you nothing, but it helps us keep the show going, so we appreciate it. If you want to directly support the show, PlayIdentico.com. That is where you can find the merch. That is where you can find the book. That is where you can find rules updates, pre-generated characters, and all that kind of stuff. If you're not familiar that this podcast is supported by a game that we wrote many, many years ago and that we continue to play every day, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. Give me feedback on the website, because I'm redoing it again. We got a lot of new stuff coming out, and so we're preparing for that. So expect a lot of updates coming out over the summer. There's a lot that is being written and being worked on and workshopped and play tested right now. So
Mallo
check it out.
Has been inspired lately. Very inspired.
I live off of caffeine and spite and pure and utter hatred despite the creators. That's it.
Yes.
Every day that I wake up, I make sure that the assassins did not do their job. And
Indeed.
There you go. Oh, we have a new thing in the store called Neon Gothic. Go check that out. That's the plug for Neon Gothic. That's a fun one. And if you know of Taylor at Gamers Heaven, ask her about Neon Gothic, because I put the idea out in the world, and now she's might be the brainchild of some amazing, crazy things that are going to come out.
I found out about this after he had already pitched it to Taylor, and she was like, da-da-da. And I was like, is this going under the humanoid banner?
I didn't pitch it to her. She figured it out and came to me.
She was like, yeah. I was like, all right, well, here we go.
Yep.
Here we go.
Saddle up, kids. It's going to be fun.
There is a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah.
A lot.
I don't stop. It's Bad Boys for life.
No.
Am I Will Smith or Martin Lawrence in this scenario too? Which one am I?
Oh, that's tough. I'm gonna leave that to the chat. Chat, you can tell us. All right, which one is Will Smith? Which one is Martin Lawrence? Yeah. I'm curious what the chat thinks. Right?
You can't go wrong. By the way, there's no wrong answer here.
No answer here because that was a great movie, and I don't care what you say. All those movies are great. When they took the Delta Force Commandos and just randomly showed up out of nowhere to Cuba in Bad Boys 2, I was like living for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry Bruckheimer, for bringing a little joy into my life.
Yes.
Okay. You also gave us great, like comfort fodder, like The Rock.
Yeah, that too.
Okay.
Sean Connery.
It's
The Rock.
And Nicolas Cage before he became fully Nicolas Cage.
Oh, we could hang on. Real topical piece. Have you seen the Nick Cage as Nick Cage playing Nick Cage movie trailer that came out today?
I have. This one's been out for a little while. The first one came out a while ago, and I have been watching that because it's got the Mandalorian in it.
It's got Pedro Pascal in it and
That's
Tiffany
right.
Haddish. It's gonna be bonkers.
It's going to be the most meta thing on the planet.
I can't wait. It's like John Wick doesn't take the piss. Like John Wick doesn't it knows what it is. This is like if John Wick took the piss. Like it's it's so stupid and silly.
It's a silly concept, but I think it'll work. I'm also looking forward to his return as Spider-Noir in the second Into the Spider-Verse movie.
Yes.
Because he's coming back for that, and that makes me really, really happy.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good stuff. I cannot wait.
So,
yeah. Speaking of segue, Pedro Pascal, Star Wars universe. A particular trailer came out today. And I'm all the snark take of the new Kenobi series that's coming up that we've been all excited for. The snark take today that I saw was can't wait for the Kenobi series to have episodes 3 and 4 of The Mandalorian somewhere inserted in the middle of the season. I don't think they're going to do that, by the way.
No.
That would be wrong.
So, to review, let's make sure. As far as we know at this point, what Disney has told us so far, right, is that Obi-Wan Kenobi is not a running series. It is a limited series. The episodes we're getting now, that's all we're getting. I haven't seen an episode runtime list yet. I know there are 6 episodes. I don't know if this is going to do all of The Mandalorian where we're keeping it in that 30-35 minute mark, or because there are only 6 episodes, are we going to Game of Thrones it and go 50 to 60? I haven't seen it yet. But back to the trailer. I loved the trailer.
Yeah.
I thought it was perfect. They could not have done a better job because I know what it's about without knowing anything about it.
Yeah.
Right? I got just enough Easter egg to be like, neat. Right? But without it being like, fan service too much. Okay? It hit that line just right.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I am not easily swayed. I have both been a creator and had to report about entertainment and things like that enough in my career where I am intrigued but not easily brought to elatedness in hype trailers. There's very few times, especially in Western trailers, where I truly think about it and get really excited. This one though, legitimately had me stand up and walk away from the monitor for a second because it came in and they showed Ewan McGregor and all like that as it, and the line of we lost the battle and all that kind of stuff. But then when Duel of the Fates hit, I was just I just threw off the headphones. I got up. I had to walk around because that's still the number one Star Wars song ever and such a definition of the first, the prequel trilogy.
Prequels, entirely.
Insane use of it.
I will tell you something funny about the first time I saw the Kenobi trailer. So I was scrolling through TikTok today, and anybody who's seen TikTok, you will see some really brilliantly cut and edited fan trailers done on TikTok. And so when I was scrolling through today, they were like Kenobi trailer, and I was like, I'm sad because it's another fan trailer and it's gonna be good, but I'm gonna tell us. And I was watching it and I was like, oh wait, this isn't a fan trailer. Oh, it's not bullshit. And because legit, like I was like, oh, another one of these, like because
this is why I stay off TikTok. It's nothing but poison.
They will make some really good fan trailers. Yeah. And post them there, and they're cool, but they're all BS. So then I went back and watched it on the proper size screen, not my phone. Arm Bricks in the check saying I haven't seen it yet. All right, I give you permission to temporarily leave this stream. Go watch it now.
Come back.
It's like 2 minutes. It's really good.
If I could get away with playing it on the stream as a reaction video, we might actually, if we don't play it in its entirety, I don't know what fair use would that be, because this is technically a journalistic and opinion show.
I think as long as we're talking about it as we go through it, I think we're okay. So, again, I liked everything about it. I thought it was well done. Again, I kind of know what it's about without knowing anything about it.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot that we know about it, right? Like it's got 2 Inquisitors in it.
It does.
Like, and I don't know. I don't know all of the backstory of the Inquisitors because I'm still making my way through the Clone Wars and Jedi and Rebels and stuff like that.
They're big in Rebels,
but the big deal of that, right, is like you know, first off, you see a lot more lightsabers. I hate the Inquisitor spinny lightsaber thing. I think that's the dumbest thing they've ever created.
They use it like dumbest, a little helicopter in the cartoon, and it's hilarious.
No, look, I'm not even a Jar Jar hater, but I hate Palpatine return line. Like the fact that like they can Mary Poppins that shit. Like no.
So we know. So this is where the trailer again. We see the trailer, right? And this is why I say we kind of know what it's about without knowing anything about the show. We know Hayden Christensen is in the show.
We know Darth Vader is in there, yes.
Okay, and Hayden Christensen is playing him. What we don't know is, are we going to get flashbacks? Will we get Hayden in, like, force projection form? How is that going to work? Do we have James Earl Jones doing the voice of Vader? Right? Do we have, because, you know, Ian McKellen. Ian McDermott.
You shall not pass.
Not Gandalf or Magneto, but the Emperor. Ian McDermott's not dead, right?
Yeah.
Could we get an Emperor cameo? One of the things that I love about all the Star Wars shows they've done so far is there's always been a level of surprise.
Yes.
Right? With as many leaks and everything that happens, the fact that nobody, and I mean nobody, knew Baby Yoda was coming before Baby Yoda came was a miracle for Disney. The end of season 2 of Mandalorian with the appearance of Luke, all the stuff they've done they've always given us a good set of surprises that I think have worked out well. And so I'm anticipating this too, because what else is in there? Right, we got no Vader in that trailer. None.
Well, we got the breath at the end. We got the breath. We know.
I thought I heard the Emperor's voice at one point, but I think I was wrong about that.
I think it's the Inquisitor trying to sound very Emperor-esque, but
yeah,
I think it's the I think we're gonna straight up get an Obi-Wan Vader fight at some point.
So 2 things. Graham Jones in the chat saying, I hope they go full Dark Fugitive spy grunginess with it. I think we're going to get more of the spy side of it and the grunginess out of Andor.
Yes, I agree. Which I'm here for. That's going to be great.
Before we get it out of Obi-Wan. That other planet, whatever planet that is that he goes to, has a very Identico feel to me. I'm like,
he's going to Coruscant, isn't he? He's back on Coruscant.
That's not Coruscant.
It sure looks like it. It sure looks like it.
It kind of gave me a feel like the old way they used to describe Nar Shaddaa in the Legend stuff.
Those are words that you say that I think, I don't know.
So Grandpa Joe's throwing some. Oh, he actually redeemed.
He redeemed points to highlight his message.
For this, Obi-Wan goes to Tatooine. Vader or the Inquisitors get too close to finding baby Skywalker. So Kenobi shows himself and leads them on a merry chase, and then dies in a confrontation with Vader after defeating the Inquisitors. I don't think he dies because, again, you can kind of tweak that line in Episode 4, no matter what. I think he just gets away, and Vader basically gives up. But I don't think your prediction is necessarily too far off. We do see Joel Edgerton, who played Uncle Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Ironic.
Yeah.
Or not Uncle Ben, Uncle
Owen?
There we go.
Okay.
God damn.
Okay.
I'm crossing the franchise streams tonight. Okay. Joel Edgerton, who played Uncle Owen in episodes 2 and 3.
Yeah.
He is back as Uncle Owen. The girl who they got to play Baru in episodes 2 and 3 is back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I there was nothing wrong with that trailer. It was perfect.
No, I think it's gonna be. I think it's very good. I think that we are going to get. We are going to get a lot more of the Vader backstory and hunting Jedis and things like that in a non.
I think we're gonna get some other Jedi besides Obi-Wan. I think we're gonna see the Inquisitors murk some other Jedi.
I think we will, and I think that's probably.
I think Obi-Wan's further descent is going to be him failing to save those other Jedi.
I think it might be that Darth Maul showing up.
Nope.
You say no?
Nope. Nope.
I think he might.
I
want to see it. I want to see more Ray Park.
Here's the thing, Ray Park is actually, and I've seen him lately. He is physically not capable of doing it anymore. So it would be a different actor, for one. For two, because of the stuff in Rebels, I don't think that they go down that road. Why? You already have the Inquisitors and you have Vader. You don't need Maul. Like, it's pointless. I don't think they do it. I think that we do not see Maul in Obi-Wan. That's my bet.
Interesting. Okay. Will he show up in Mandalorian, you think? Or is he dead by that point? He's dead by that point. Okay.
Like, spoiler alert, so mute it for a couple of seconds if you haven't heard it. But they end his storyline pretty well. Ezra leads Maul kind of by accident, kind of by being stupid. Leads Maul to Obi-Wan on Tatooine. And Maul and Obi-Wan have another showdown. And this time Obi-Wan actually kills him, right? Not like, and then buries him in the middle of the desert.
I want to see that fight in real life.
It's not a very interesting fight.
In Rebels, it might not be, but in the live action, it might be.
They had some good fights in Rebels. The Ahsoka Vader fight in Rebels was great.
It lasted like 2 seconds. The Ahsoka Maul fight was way better.
But I don't think they mess with that. I really don't. I don't think they're gonna pull that in there. And honestly, that would probably be one of the things that would disappoint me about the series is if they tried to like shoehorn Maul in there when they don't need him.
Yeah.
They have at least 2 Inquisitors and Vader. You're done. You don't need any more major threats. You're fine. Took better in the same sentence. Jesus Christ.
I promised less sodium this week. Jeez.
For anybody who wants context to Grandpa Joe being snarky in the comics, go to our YouTube channel, which is now just youtube.com/Identico.
Hey.
And thank you to everybody who helped us get there with your subs to the channel. You can go back. This is probably about 7 or 8 episodes of Identico After Dark. It is Ahsoka is the best character, and we did get Joe to admit that Ahsoka is not a terrible character. So, for what it's worth, if you'd like to see that episode and us spend an hour and a half talking about how great Ahsoka is,
yes,
I invite you to go watch that episode. Yeah, I don't think they shoehorn Maul in there. I do think we're going to get some surprises. We can see by... How old do you think Luke is in that video? Probably 7, 8?
7, 8, yeah,
Ish.
Top.
So 7, 8 tops. He's obviously using like a VR headset to like learn to fly.
Yeah.
Very cute little moment there. That's about it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, again, the trailer showed a lot without showing anything.
It did. I mean, the thing that I'm looking most forward to with Andor, especially, is I'm very. I mean, if it is Coruscant, great. That's fine. If it's another planet, that's cool too. But I am in the fatigue of the Skywalker saga, and this fits 100% in it, right? I want to see more people and more planets and more places. So that's why I am hyped for this series. I'm very excited because we get codified the Inquisitors and all of the things that happened in between to hunt down the Jedi and stuff. And I actually would love to see a Vader series that continues that later on. That we dive deeper into the concept of Vader and what happened in between all of this stuff. I know we're going to get a glimpse of it here, but it's going to be mostly Obi-Wan and the Inquisitors and stuff. Mm-hmm. I want to see a Vader series that dives into all of the other things. I mean, hell, pull it exactly from the comic, because that comic series for Vader is very popular. Just translate it to live action and let's roll.
I'm going to tangent this for you for just a moment on the idea of a Vader series. How mad are you at Disney if they recast his voice? James Earl Jones, and the reason I say this is this. We have heard nothing about a Vader series, so it's not, as far as we know, in production yet.
Yeah.
Right? James Earl Jones, you know, God bless him, is 91 years old. I just went to look to see how old he was. Okay? Like... I'm fully like, we're gonna lose him someday.
How angry would I be, or how angry am I that certain AI companies have not already figured out a way to preserve his voice?
Deepfake his voice.
That's not deepfake. You can literally just get the frequencies right. Well, that's the thing.
So I said a few years ago that if I was Disney, the minute they bought that, and when they had, because he came back for Rebels and he came back for Rogue One, and if I was Disney, I would be like, James, we're going to pay you $20 million. Leave it to your kids, leave it to charity, we don't care.
Yeah.
But we just need you to sit in a room and say words as Darth Vader. Okay?
Yeah, a bunch of stuff.
Just say words and phrases so we can chop them together later or build an AI thingy. You know, Scott Lawrence did a great job with the voice. Was that Scott Lawrence in Fallen Order?
I believe it was, yeah. Okay. I think that's the other thing too, is you've got enough characters. I mean, hell, if somebody out there can do Frank Oz's Yoda as well as Frank Oz does, or Kermit, or any of the other Muppets, there are people that can get us close enough with pitch shift and modulation and things like that.
That will be there.
And I think it will be just fine. So
okay. James Earl Jones is immortal. He has to be. The universe is not allowed. Bit player, I bloody hope you're right.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I don't know if I can take that.
Yeah. I appreciate that, Kramer. But yeah, no, I think it's the thing of like, yeah, you're not going to be able to pay. It's just like you can't pay, Samuel L. Jackson to play Mace Windu at all points and times either. Like, you just can't keep bringing back these high-paid actors for one TV series.
I'm just glad they got Ewan back.
Oh, absolutely. They couldn't do it without that. Like, I don't think.
And he, to me, is one of the high points of the prequels. I don't hate the prequels as much as other people do.
I did. I was down on the prequels until the sequels came out and showed me that the prequels were not nearly as bad as I thought they would be. Outside, I was a huge VFX nerd. It was one of the reasons I liked VFX and the other things that came out of it. But the writing at least makes some semblance of sense compared to the sequels.
To me, the biggest issue with the prequels was two things. One, the CGI in it did not age well. For the time period in which they were released, It was
okay.
great.
Yeah, it was great.
Right. But like looking at 2022 standards, like it didn't age well.
Except for the Yoda versus Dooku fight. And let's be honest, there are some people in this chat right now that I went to see that with in the theater the night that it came on. And that moment built a hype where you heard the like kunk of Yoda's staff and all like that. And then it just goes full on stupid right after that.
Yeah, here's the thing. I remember when I saw episode 2 in the theater, because obviously back then this was before like Reddit and Twitter were a thing. So you didn't get as many spoilers. The theater lost its nuts when he dropped the cane and then like doesn't even reach for his lightsaber. The lightsaber flies off his belt into his hand. Like the entire theater.
Oh, we were losing our shit.
Bananas.
Absolutely.
They were like, oh shit, this is about to get crazy. Right? And then you see him whirling dervish of death. Like I said, I never was that down on the prequels. I thought they were fine. They have the same issue. The biggest issue with the prequels, and I will die on this mountain, is that the original trilogy, George didn't write the whole thing.
Yes.
Right? He handed off episodes 5 and 6 to different screenwriters, which is what he should have done for episodes 2 and 3. You can run the story, George. You can produce and direct and do all this stuff. But I'm sorry, buddy. You can't write dialogue.
Yeah. Which is ironic because
filmmaker, an amazing innovator, but you can't write dialogue.
7, 8, and 9, he should have had the reins even more in that and booted J.B.A. Abrams and all that out of the way.
He didn't want it.
I know he didn't want it, but I'm just saying, well, of course, because he dealt with 20 years of people hating on episodes 1 through 2 and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's I wish he would have had a harder hand in that and basically been like, at least directed the ship in one direction, rather than having to deal with all the rest of it. I actually would love to see them go back and do a special edition for episodes 1 through 3 where they actually go backwards in time a little bit and do a little bit more grittiness now that the CGI technology's gotten better, and actually smooth over a lot more of the stuff that we could only do back in the day.
Yes,
I think it would be an interesting kind of like look and feel to it.
I would love to see them do a remaster of the whole thing. All right, I think we've beat that to death. Again, we're excited for Kenobi. We will probably do. I don't know if we'll do weeklies when Kenobi's out. It's a limited series, so maybe
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it comes out with it.
Definitely the first episode.
Yeah,
May 25th.
May 25th, indeed.
Which is cool because it's the anniversary that Star Wars came out. Is that before or after Andor?
It's before.
Before.
Indira Varma, by the way, is in this show, right? But
do we know who?
But what is she playing? Do we know?
Let me look.
Let me look at the cast again here. Unless Google is nope, it's Tia. Who's Tia?
I have no idea. Kamal Nanjiani's in this show.
Yeah.
Kamal Nanjiani's in this show, and we saw him not once in the trailer. And in IMDb, he's credited for 6 episodes. Owen Lawrence is credited for 6 episodes. I think there's a lot more to this show than we realize.
I also want to know Soon Kang, Fast and Furious alum, my boy. What's he doing? We've been talking about it. This is like 3. Every time we bring this up, I have to drop his name because I love that dude so much. Doesn't have a credit yet either. So spoilers there, maybe. I don't know. But again, this is all stuff that I want to see, man.
I have no idea what they're doing. Hayden Christensen's credit for 6 episodes. Ewan McGregor for 6. IMDb is known to be wrong occasionally. But we'll see.
It's occasional. That's for sure.
Yep.
Andor comes out when? 2022 is all I can see on the thing.
I don't know. I don't think we've actually got a date for it yet.
I don't think we have a date for it either. Yeah. And we get Lando coming up. Is that this year or next year? Lando next year?
I don't know have they announced that?
Yeah.
Oh. I'll be honest with you. I'm starting to believe that Star Wars is a better story told on television than it is in movie theaters.
Yeah. No, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's great.
And every Star Wars movie right now is stuck in development hell. It just is. You know, the Patty Jenkins was supposed to direct the Rogue Squadron movie, and they've put that on indefinite hiatus.
Yeah.
Which basically means we're going to quietly chuck this in the garbage can when everybody forgets about it.
No, I think they'll bring it back. I think they're going to keep it, like... I think they'll bring it back. Rogue Squadron is just one of those things that you can't get away from in Star Wars.
They're going to have to get a different director, because apparently her and whoever it is there at Lucasfilm cannot come to creative agreements. That's what they said.
Okay, I mean, it's fine. There's a lot of other directors out there. I want Patty Jenkins to do it. I think she's a great director, but the show will go on with Star Wars. It's monolithic when it comes to that, right? Like,
yep.
So, but yeah, there's a lot of different things coming out.
You want to go on to the next segment?
Yeah, you want to do Funimation or Bandcamp next?
Let's do Bandcamp because I think it's shorter, and I honestly understand it less.
So, Bandcamp has for a long time, friends of the show, I'm going to shout out a couple of them, MC Lars and Mega Ran, as like many other ones, Schaefer the Dark Lord. Many of my nerdcore heroes and acquaintances and a lot of friends with that, for a different version of this show, actually, Mega Ran gave me a couple of interviews, and MC Lars hung out with us in one part in time. So, there's been a pretty special brethren to that kind of like nerdcore camp. And Bandcamp for a lot of indie, musicians, especially in the nerdcore, at least for me, still use Bandcamp a lot. And it's been well known for like Bandcamp days where like even like 100% of proceeds go to the artist, and they've been very like artist focused in the past. But recently, I think it was last week, because we didn't get to have a show last week. But last week, Bandcamp announced that they were joining Epic Games. For those on the podcast, I'm making a crazy face right now. I don't understand.
Joining is an interesting term for Epic Games bought Bandcamp.
I think it is. And somebody in the chat sticking out their tongue on that one. I'm interested in this one. Like, I really am, mainly because I love Bandcamp. Like, I'm not saying this is like a doomsday device kind of thing. It just seems strange on the surface, at least.
I'll say two things. One, I think that at least for the time being, it's not going to affect Bandcamp's business model for at least another year or two. That being said, this is starting to read like an Identico story.
You're always trying to bring it back.
I am, but here's the reason. So, Tencent Holdings has a 48% stake in Epic Games, right? That being said, Tencent Holdings has a 58% stake in Tencent Music, and those companies have a 10% stake in Universal Music. Universal has a 3.5% stake in Spotify. 10% is a 9.9% stake in Spotify. And Sony has a 2.9% stake in Spotify.
You're saying that it's just proliferation? And a little bit?
What I'm saying is this is a really weird purchase by Epic. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And what I'm saying is that I think there's a lot more to this purchase than is visible on the surface. Again, that's why I feel like it reads like actually, so this is the stuff that I like to write for Identico, which is this company's buying this company. And if you watch KSC, there's like, was one of the first things we started with is these two companies are merging because they want to be a bigger force in the thingamajigger, right? this is very strange with how all the stakes in Spotify and Universal and Sony and all the other companies that are in the music industry are intertwined. I feel like there's something here that is going on. And I wonder, follow me here, with where those stakes are placed in Spotify and it being the only one that I think even has a chance. Because, let's face it, Amazon, you've got your music thingy, but it's
above, it's second in line behind Spotify in
right,
users.
But not, well, so,
yes.
Because I think... yeah. Because it's actually, and I'm trying to see, I'm double checking the statistics. Yeah. So I wonder, follow me here, and that's what I was going to check the statistics on real quick. I wonder if they're trying to take on Apple finally. And follow me here. So Apple Music Plus, which is their thing, and again, just Apple Music Plus has 78 million subscribers to Spotify's 90. But there's a lot of people that are deeply bought into Apple's ecosystem, right? In just album purchases and things like that. That I want that's one of the things that holds their thing, and Apple's library is bigger.
So here's the way that I'm kind of thinking about some of
Spotify,
this.
yeah, so I'm looking at it right now for Q2 2021. This is the closest one I can find. Spotify, Apple, then Amazon, then Tencent, then YouTube, NetEase, Deezer, Yandex, and other. So if you pull Tencent into Spotify's numbers,
But
right?
you can't because it's a different service. That's not how that works. Platforms don't work that way. You
Tencent's like, here, yeah, all our users now have Spotify accounts.
Yeah, but that's not how the platform is. That you're jumping to a world that doesn't exist and doesn't isn't in that. Like, the highway is this way, and then you're on, like, the side road over here, doing some, like, curly cues or something.
It's the only way I can make this make any sort of sense, is that Tencent and Epic have some other idea here.
I think
that
part of it could be, look, when it comes down, when you think about the diversification in business model, okay? Because Epic bought ArtStation as well. ArtStation is a very popular platform. Yep. For a lot of the designers that work on our game. Like, they have ArtStations and stuff like that, right? You know, it's just one of the more popular sites around the world. Diversification is not necessarily a bad thing when it comes to the way or the business model that Epic is running, right? And we both said a couple times that, like, compared to Steam, I much more enjoy the Epic curated list than a Steam list all day long.
I do too.
Yep. You don't get the bloatware, you don't get some of the crazy
asset
stupid
flips.
things, the asset flips and all that kind of stuff that you would get in a Steam.
Yep.
Steam is very popular, but you know, Epic actually goes and makes games to go along with it, unlike Steam. I think you get a lot of things like that, you know?
And while we're there, I'm just gonna crap on Valve for a minute. Where the hell is Half-Life 3? Epic can make games.
That is vaporware. That's never coming.
Care.
That's never coming.
If Epic can make games,
you got Half-Life Alyx. Be good and be thankful. That's it. Like, you got Half-Life Alyx on the little VR thing. That's as good as you're gonna get for the next 20 years, probably. Because I don't know how many years it was between Half-Life 2 and that, but I think it's one of those things too. Is like, as Kramer points out in the chat too. It's like Epic got Quixel, which is what do they call it? Photogrammetry, I think is what they call it. It's technology that will help them make their games probably more realistic. It's going to be a little bit easier on textures. Like, part of Epic's great part of their business model is the software and the platforms that they are creating, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about the intellectual property that they own or the store that they can make and things like that, right? And so, to me, it makes a little bit of sense in that, what if you added Bandcamp to Fortnite, where it's like your favorite artists could be imported into Fortnite automatically. You can make your own playlist in Fortnite based on all the artists that are on Bandcamp. So I could have an entire list of nothing but nerdcore artists playing for me in Fortnite. That seems like an interesting, that is like literally the bare surface kind of thing you could do to bring it together, but that's one way to kind of like make it work, right? Because you've got a lot of people who are spending time in games like that, and you're adding value to the whole kind of piece. If you want to play the Apple route, iTunes sucks. And I own 50 million Apple devices in my house. iTunes sucks. It sucks on the phone.
Deeply bought into their
ecosystem,
I won't, sadly.
I can't by the contract I have during my day job, but I have to legally say I hate Apple iTunes, not because I'm contracted to, but because I tried to do it as a user, and it's bad UI. It's bad integration. Yeah. It's terrible.
The UI is not good. The only thing I give Apple is that they were the first. I'm deeply bought into their ecosystem with movies and TV shows that I bought before there was other options, like viable other options.
Microsoft and Windows will have a conversation with you because they were viable before the iPod was. Their marketing was not as good, but they technically were on the. They technically were on the thing.
The Zune can take a leap.
Look, Zune users, hold on now. All right, Zune users, I just want you to send all hate mail, courtesy to Alex, the humanoid, because y'all Zune users are they are fanatical over that. Piece. I didn't have one. I was too poor.
I'm saying Apple was the first one to get the platform to the point that it needed to be. And you can say that, but a lot of people be like, well, Android's the most prolific one. I'm like, yeah, but Android is made by 15 different manufacturers, and half the Android phones out there are absolute garbage. They really are.
Now, Android itself is made by Google.
No, the operating system is Android, but I'm saying half the phones that have Android as their OS are...
Well, that's a hardware thing.
Trashware.
That's like saying that 90% of the Windows PCs out there are trash.
And they are.
Yeah.
And that's why I use an iPhone.
I don't know. I got a lot of gaming rigs that would like to have a conversation with the new Apple, thing.
There's a reason you don't use an Android, my fellow co-host.
I tried. I have thought to go to a Pixel phone because, to be honest with you, the Google ecosystem with their UI, this is getting super nerdy. I'm going to push my glasses up for just a second. Google's ecosystem in terms of the look and feel of Android works faster and better at some things than Apple. What I can't do, and why I continue to use most of the Apple machines that I do, is the editing and all of the renderware and stuff like that I want to do. And I'm not paying $4,000 for that tiny little box that Apple announced yesterday, and $1,500 for a screen. Sorry. Good as it may be, still not going to do it.
Apple leaves this cross-platform function. I'd agree with that. Again, I like, and I am a cross-platform thing. In this house, I have iMacs, I have PCs, I've been a multi-thing. Android I've never really liked, and we have an Android phone at the store now, and I still don't really love the function of how.
Is it base Android? Is it a Google Pixel? Because here's
Samsung something,
and that's the problem. I don't like Samsung. I don't like their version of Android that they put on the phone. That is not pure Android. That is Samsung's version of it, and it's like Fire OS, which Amazon uses when they put on their tablets and stuff like that. Is part of Android, but it's their version of Android. Samsung's is their version with their bloatware and shit like that on it. Yeah, and so. I don't like the only time you should ever be using an Android phone is if it comes directly from Google. And that's if somebody else could make the Apple OS and put it on their phone, I probably wouldn't buy that phone because it won't work as well.
No.
You could make a Hackintosh, but it won't work as well.
That's true, and that's why I buy those.
100% Kramer. Samsung wrapper over Android is problematic all day.
And so that's why I don't use the Android. But everybody's like, Android's the best version. I'm like, yeah, but half of them are Samsung wrappers over Android. Yep. I'm just not a big Android fan.
Here's a thing that I would like to say though too. The one thing that I will say, in Epic's entire lawsuit against Apple and other places, right? They sued for basically a better store, a better payout for creators in the retail side of things and stuff like that. If they're trying to take the same route with Bandcamp that they did with the gaming platforms, that could be an interesting play, because I've got music on Spotify under a different band. I haven't seen a single cent from it because it doesn't pay. It takes a lot. And it'll be interesting if they apply the same economic mathematics to streaming that they do with gaming. That could be an interesting proposition for the world of streaming from there. So you could take Bandcamp and try to make it up to be as big as like Spotify, and probably try to take. You don't need to take them down. You just need enough market share to be viable.
No. I really actually like Spotify. I have deeply considered multiple times buying Spotify Premium so I didn't have to listen to ads.
I use Spotify because it's the only viable one out there. Spotify Premium is the only viable premium service out there that's worth it. The rest of them are garbage, frankly. So if somebody can come up and take a little bit of... But Spotify also doesn't pay anybody anything. That's the problem. Their payouts are abysmal compared to the rest of the industry. Yeah. Mainly because nobody's forced them to do that. So if it's Bandcamp or Apple or what's the one in Europe? Diesel? Maybe it's Diesel. Or if it's the one that Jay-Z and them founded, if it's any of them that can force the damn needle, right? It's so much in such a way that like vinyl and CD sales, CDs, actually rose like 15% last year because people actually want to go, like, there's a whole thing of music that I can't get anywhere else that I want to be able to play, but I can't put it on Spotify because they won't allow it anymore. Apple and Amazon got rid of their local file storage options. Like, it's a pain in the ass. Make it simple. If I bought music, I want to be able to play it anywhere, and I want to be able to play it anywhere. It's just that simple.
I keep thinking about buying it. To respond to Grandpa Joe and Shaq, I don't buy the half Android manufacturers suck. Don't buy the brands. So this comes down to the reason I think that a lot of people won't leave Apple, and that's this. It's very simple. And this may not appeal so much to our audience, so I want to tell our audience to take yourselves out of the way that you look at some of this stuff sometimes. When I buy a PC, I do a lot of research on the graphics card and the processor and what kind of stuff's in it and what kind of boot drive it's having. And when I do that, I'm doing that because I know that's part of the process. I can just go to Best Buy and buy a PC, but it's not going to work as well because I didn't do that research into the type of PC I should buy. I personally, and I know a lot of people, don't want to do that same research for my phone. There are so many Android-based phones out there, and that's just it. Is that some of them are cheap, some of them are expensive, Some of those Android phones are overpriced bricks. I don't want, and Gervinator just hit it right there. With Apple, you're paying for the consistency. What I'm paying for is, at least with my phone, when I take it out of the box, I think this is an 11 Pro, right? When I take it out of the box, it works. Never had an issue. Ever. I reinstall my apps. I do my stuff. I have to go through that annoying process of like re-inputting passwords and shit and resetting up all that stuff. But you have to do that with every phone. But it just works. And for my phone, especially for my phone, that's what I want. And you're paying for this thing. Right. I can't be asked to do research, so I buy the phone's geared for grandparents. I don't think Apple's geared for grandparents. You obviously have not been watching Late Night Fox News, Joe. He's got a string and he's just pulling you just along. Because here's the thing.
The grandparents
are using this weird goofball, and it's freaking hilarious because I've seen it. It is an Android-based app that they've like redone the UI on to be for boomers. Like you will see like commercials for it on ESPN, Fox News, and CNN like really late at night where it's like, this is great, I can text my grandkids. And it is an Android phone. It's an Android phone.
Yeah.
It's a boomer phone. The boomer phone is the Android phone.
It's funny because it's like the Samsung arguers in the chat, and I looked at the latest Samsung prices and compared them with iPhone. They're exactly the same because that's called marketing. They're all bricks. You can't repair any of them. Stop being brand loyal. We're teaching you better than that in Identico. Fuck them all.
Hopefully this right to repair legislation will not get crushed in the courts, and we will have right to repair soon. I am hopeful.
That's great. So then everybody who thinks that they can fix their phone is going to go brick it, and then they got to go spend even more money with the same companies. That's exactly what we need to be doing.
The whole right to repair is that you don't have to go to Apple or Google or whoever to fix the phones. Which I think would be good because it'll open up like people who can fix phones and give them jobs and careers and things like that. You want to move on?
I don't think we said we were gonna bring as much salt because it was a good Star Wars day, and then you guys got me sidetracked on like having brand loyalty on a piece of hardware. Jesus. I'm gonna blame Grandpa Joe, and he's gonna blame his brother in the chat. That's what's gonna happen. No, he can't blame his brother because his brother subscribed with Prime, and he gets a pass tonight.
So I kind of want to talk about the Sanderson thing next.
You want to go with Sanderson? All right, we'll come back to Crunchyroll and like that. Go for it.
This thing is huge. I'm looking at it right now. Sanderson now has a $26 million
yes
Kickstarter.
It is the highest. Oh no, it's got 22 days left. It is the most. It is the highest rated. Not highest rated. Highest earning so far Kickstarter in history.
I am really torn about this.
All right. Here. So I want to give full. I want to give full disclosure. I backed this morning at a certain level, but there's a comment in the chat. I guess Joe took a sip of his old man coffee and has come back to his senses because he was like, I wanted to back, but its prices were bonkers. I am just not.
They're not.
They are.
40 bucks for 4 ebooks?
No. $200 for 4 books? For all
formats. That you get you the audio, the ebook, and the premium hardcover.
I understand that, but the difference in price from the ebook to the hardcover, and you know hardcover prices because we printed 1,000 of these books, right?
Yep.
That is a little insane.
It's $160 for just the ebooks and the
also
hardcovers.
Kickstarter appears to be down right now. So I tried to go to Kickstarter.
Yeah, I had to get in. They're doing maintenance. I'm staying on the page so I don't get booted off.
Okay.
So to go through it for the chat, especially since Kickstarter's down, the ebooks alone, if you just get the ebooks, $10 each. I actually don't think that that's outrageous for 4 books for $40. Quarterly audiobooks, so that's the audiobooks. It's 4 audiobooks for $60. Again, I don't think that's completely bananas. $15 an audiobook's not terrible. Premium hardcover. Here's where I start to get a little iffy. Tell me why. Now, in this case, you get the ebooks and the hardcovers. Mm-hmm. Right? So you're basically paying...
Which I don't want, to be frank.
If you deduct the cost of the ebooks, you're paying $100 for 4 hardcovers. I mean, here's the thing. I think that he needs another, to make this fair, I think he needs another tier in here that's just the hardcovers. That's $100.
Yeah. Which at that point, plus shipping. See, my thing that I was looking at this morning, and is that he was saying it's going to cost $40 in shipping.
Oh, is that with the backing? You still have to pay another 40 in shipping.
Yeah, so it was 160. I think was the level that I did, because first off, I like if this is the covers that they're doing, or if it's anywhere close to that quality of cover, I'll pay for the good art, because I'm gonna put it up there right next to my some of the other Sanderson books, and to some of the ones from like Pat Rothfuss and all those kind of ones, right? Like, I've got some of the special editions all sitting right there. They're lovely. I like reading more on paper because I stare at screens all day, and then I broadcast and all that kind of stuff. I'd rather just, curl up with a book. I'm old man. Go ahead in the chat. You can call me old man in the chat. I don't care. I like physical copies of books.
I do too.
Mainly because, you know what the best thing about a physical copy of a book is? When I'm done with it, i.e. this Cyberpunk, right? I'm done with this Cyberpunk book. I can find another player and go, here you go. Have a book.
Yeah.
Really, it's hard to do that with ebooks. It's not impossible, but it's harder to do with ebooks and stuff like that. I'm
not backing because I'm not a big Sanderson fan.
I want to try it because it's not tied to some other series that I've got to read 50,000 books for. And
but here's the thing. Based on his stuff, this is him hitting.
Sorry.
This is him hitting the publishing companies. That's the whole point here. Because if the release schedule is correct, these books are done.
Yes.
Right? So this brings me back to the Kickstarter thing, and this has been a debate for a long time, which is, what is Kickstarter supposed to be? And the argument is it was supposed to be a way to raise money for projects that weren't done yet because you didn't have access to the capital to do those projects. Sanderson has no problem getting a publishing deal. Period. He wrote the last Wheel of Time book. Nope. He doesn't. A publishing deal.
But this is not being published through a publishing deal. It's being published through his it's his imprint.
Right.
Which
means he's like, I don't want to go through a publisher. I'm hitting the publishers now. And that's fine. He's going to be a multimillionaire after this project.
Well, he's already a multimillionaire, technically.
Yeah, more so right now. Right? And I mean, good for him. But I guess my frustration with these is, why put this on Kickstarter? That's my thing. Like, and honestly, if I'm Kickstarter, this is the thing I've never really loved about Kickstarter. And we full disclosure, we did Identico on Kickstarter. We will probably do the next project on Kickstarter. But when we're doing the next project on Kickstarter, it will be because
we will not be doing the next project on Kickstarter. Just want to put that out there for you.
Are we doing GoFundMe? What are we moving to?
We'll figure something else out. But I have my own beef with Kickstarter as a platform. So
also those NFTs things that they're doing.
That's part of it. Yes.
Okay. Kickstarter's lost sight of the platform it's supposed to be. This is great. They're going to make a bunch of money off this project. And good for them. But Kickstarter has become a glorified pre-sale system.
Yep.
And they basically are just giving you a platform to set up an easy-to-build pre-sale page because, bleh, right? I don't like it. I think that it detracts from what Kickstarter is supposed to be, and
I don't think that is. I think there's two different things though.
Holy crap! If you do the whole year and get the swag box, it's not 40 in shipping; it's 120.
No, the swag box. No, it's 160. I think.
No, I'm looking at it right now. It's 120.
Well, I can't see it because it's not.
I brought it up before it went down.
Thanks, Kickstarter. Why aren't you aware of our broadcast schedule? What the fuck?
If you just do the books, it's 40 in shipping on top of the 160 you're going to pay because you have to get the
you're saying
level.
Shipping is 120.
Shipping.
Yeah. No, that's why I didn't do the swag box. Because mainly because I don't care. I'm not a huge Sanderson fan when it comes to all the other series. So I just don't need crap lying around my house. It's like those it feels like those monthly boxes they used to sell, the loot crates and all that crap, because you just get tchotchkes delivered to your house every month that just takes up space and then ends up in a landfill somewhere because it's just a bunch of crap that you don't actually want. I think there's two different things that there's two schools of thought when it comes to Kickstarter. Is if Sanderson is doing it under his own imprint and he's not going through publishers on purpose, I'm okay with Kickstarter here because, and
this he could have built a Weebly site and accomplished the same goal.
He could have, but with
it's the marketing. It's the look how neat and look how many other people are doing it, and it's FOMO and it's marketing.
It can be marketing, but it's also a matter of getting the upfront cost to do some of these things and to judge the interest. Because had he set up a Weebly site and did a lot of pre-sales and it didn't get to a certain threshold, then legally he could just either have to refund everybody and he's out the 3+% of credit card charges for that, or he has to go through it and lose money. And anybody that's ever created anything at critical mass on the internet knows that there is a chance that it's going to flop. And it doesn't matter who you are, there is a chance that it couldn't happen. So Kickstarter or Indiegogo or GoFundMe or any of those kind of things all provide at least some way to judge interest in the project ahead of time. If this was Del Rey or like the problems that I always had was like the penny arcades and the big developers of the world using Kickstarter, established companies that don't need the extra exposure when it kind of comes to that.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of board game companies that do Kickstarters now. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, you don't necessarily, it's not needed,
No.
And so, my issue with Kickstarter in terms of blockchain, NFTs, and all of the other kind of things that are coming along with it are separate from this particular issue, but it doesn't help me want to go and use Kickstarter anymore, even though we have done a ton of other, we've done a ton of projects. We've worked with a ton of people who've done projects. We've given, consultation to those folks on how to run a successful Kickstarter. We had one ourselves, right? Like, it sort of is what it is, right? But it's just an interesting of like, it's an interesting sort of play at just trying to put something out in the world and see what happens. Because I guarantee that Sanderson, he's not the most cynical writer I've ever met in my life, but he keeps it real.
I'm certain he didn't see this coming.
Absolutely not. And that's the thing. My guess, and this is completely conjecture.
He has no stretch goals, no nothing.
Right.
So my guess was he thought he was going to get right to his $1 million mark, which means on the whole project, I'm guessing he'd make probably $300,000-$400,000.
Yeah. And how much of that would go to pay, artists?
No, I'm saying after all the stuff was
done.
done.
But I think though that there's a lot more that's going to get paid to artists and things like that to it, right? Like I think that's part of what he's doing here.
So, I mean, it's $1 million goal. And $114,000
people. Yeah, it's gotten. Day one it was over $15 million.
How you doing this New York Times bestseller list? He just put 4 books out and sold 114,000 copies of each.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Well, the New York Times. Well,
I know how they do it, but it's
Well, but for those of you
because they don't do it.
Well, but for those of you at home, the New York Times list doesn't actually reflect actual sales. It's all a PR play. You have to pay to get on the list, and you have to do it a certain way. Like it's not actually like by, it's not actually how you perform. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So all that to say, I'm happy for the guy because I like to see more sci-fi fantasy novels out there. I like to see it dominating the literature market out there. I don't mind Sanderson as a writer. I love watching his writing series. He takes all of his lectures from BYU that he does every other year or so, and he puts them online on YouTube for free. And if you ever wanted to take a master's level course with Brandon Sanderson, there you go. You don't have to pay for it. It's on YouTube. So, I mean, all things considered, it's better than that stupid Pebble Watch that was the #1 Kickstarter of all time after that. So, You know, that turned out to not be great. So,
Yep.
So we'll see.
All right, I think we got time for
I do.
more.
Hold on. I do want to talk about though that like chat was just asking if we can start a Kickstarter to bribe Patrick Rothfuss into finishing his series.
Not gonna happen.
No. We're not gonna bribe Pat to do that. It's fine.
First off, neither he nor George R.R. Martin are going to finish either one of those series.
I think Pat might. I got more money on Pat finishing it than I do
More
George.
money on Pat. Martin, I mean, I'm sure they haven't released the name yet, but I'm sure that Martin has somebody already lined up, just like
Probably.
Jordan did, to finish Game of Thrones once he dies. Because at this point, with where he's at, with Winds of Winter, and the fact that Dream of Spring is, as far as I know, he's even started on yet. I don't think you're ever going to see it by him. What do you think? One more topic?
Well, I was just interested to like. We can do this actually more as a lightning round kind of thing because Funimation and Crunchyroll are now all owned by Sony Entertainment. So, we started this show with Star Wars. We continued it with Epic and their acquisition of Bandcamp, and this kind of fits really like into it from there, right? Those two catalogs coming together under one roof. And then it being all, owned by Sony Entertainment is an interesting proposition because Sony kind of feels like the one lagging behind in the whole streaming service right now. And it's a very interesting part of the market to get to.
I don't think Sony is interested. I think that as far as streaming services go, they're perfectly happy I think they're going to be perfectly happy for at least for the next 5 years with having Crunchyroll and Funimation, which do well. Their other big stuff is their Marvel properties as far as entertainment stuff goes. And they're going to give all those to either Disney or somebody else, right, to stream and get a cut of that money. And
but they're more of a production house in that rather than a IP ownership, right? And that diversification doesn't happen.
They own the rights to all the Spider-Man stuff still, and as long as they continue making Spider-Man movies, they will continue owning it.
Yeah. I think the manga side of Funimation is coming over as well too, which is
everything's coming over.
Yeah, the whole library is coming over.
For the chat, it's an all cash deal. Sony bought it from AT&T, which, by the way, all our favorite fandoms are owned by these mega corporations. Like I remember people were like, "Wait a minute, they were owned by AT&T, like the phone company," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Speaking of terrible phone service,
and neither side's even talking about Blu-ray. No, I mean they own the whole company now. It's an all cash deal.
Yeah,
that they bought it. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna integrate it into their video game division. All the JRPGs.
It could be. I mean, you got the idea for spin-offs at that point for some JRPGs. I mean, there's that portion of it too. But I mean, frankly, as somebody who's just getting into and trying to get onto anime, like now having the two largest ones under one roof, from a customer perspective, I'm a little happy about that. I only have to pay one thing to get to it, right? And conglomeration and stuff like that being what it is, like it was a little weird. I mean, it's almost like Marvel, Spider, DC being like having like the way that Funimation and Crunchyroll were trying to like be apart and like do all these kind of things. And so it's like, you're not going to get the market share behind it that you want if you stay divided in that way. So I don't know. A one-stop shop kind of thing feels good from a customer perspective. We'll see how it works in the production side.
Both Crunchyroll and Funimation are, what's interesting, both of them, they're more distributors than anything else because they're not, Crunchyroll and Funimation aren't the
Crunchyroll does produce. No, Crunchyroll is more like they took the Netflix side of things where they are producing some of their own shows and things like that. So,
but they don't hit the big, like the top 10.
They don't.
Of the big anime producing studios.
But if you think about how that business evolves, I could see you're adding the library there to get the money to fund being able to do more of it in-house.
Sony's trying to become the Disney of anime.
Could be. I mean, it would fit their market share.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Chat said, yeah, High Guardian spiced it and land well. Yeah, I'm going to go with you on that one. I know there's Blade Runner Black Lotus that has piqued my interest. You know, very cyberpunk for us, but, you know, and then there's, I think Shenmue is there, which is kind of a weird one. I don't know. I think it's an interesting kind of piece. I'm in a wait and see sort of mentality here because Sony being Sony, they don't tend to exert a ton of control over these things. They just sort of put them in there and have it going, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man being what it is, they showed that they are willing to work with things for the betterment, I guess, of the fandom would be the best way to put it. So, yeah, so I'm interested to see that. But all the catalog is, I think, at least the digital stuff, I think, is already moved over to Crunchyroll, so it's all there now.
Most of it.
Yeah. So yeah,
most of it. And they said more will be added, but they're working on it. The list of titles they've got on there is extensive.
Yeah.
It's a lot of first 5 seasons of My Hero Academia.
Yep.
What do I see big names in here? Oh wait, Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
Where are your other big ones? Yu-Gi-Oh.
You know, that's an interesting one that Tip brings up in the chat, is that, you know, Netflix does have an anime division, and Castlevania was a really good show. And I think that was a Netflix original. So I wonder if some of this too is having a little bit of like cachet against, you know, the Western sort of side of the business maybe. And being able to kind of like swing with it. Although we've got our own issues with Netflix in terms of the catalog. It's the Steam of streaming services, let's be honest.
It really, really is. That is probably like that. It really is. Yeah. You can't. There was somebody who was tracking how many Netflix original shows and movies there were, and if you started right now trying to watch them all, you would die before you finished. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
All right.
Couple of quick hits. Warner Brothers have delayed The Flash and Aquaman 2. Black Adam has also been delayed, I think, till later this year. I have a piece in here that just says Georgia Man, and I had to remind myself what that was. So, a Georgia Man is used. What's that?
They delayed this to 2023. That is weird to me because of how close those trailers were, especially the Flash one. That one getting pushed all the way to 2023, which is at least 9 months from now.
Yeah.
Right? And movie studios don't release shit in January.
Not typically, no.
That's when you release romantic comedies, not when you release The Flash.
Right.
That's weird. That's all I'll say to that.
It's weird to go past that one.
Those.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Georgia Man used a small business COVID loan to buy a rare Charizard card. Got busted for it and is now serving time. I just maybe don't do that. Maybe don't use your COVID relief fund to buy Pokemon cards, because you got a 36-month federal prison for wire fraud.
That, it's SBA COVID fund.
Yeah, it's a COVID relief loan. He was trying to buy.
And you almost could have gotten away with it if you were going to resell it.
If it wasn't for those pesky kids and their Pokemon cards?
It's a business. Buying and reselling Pokemon is a business. Sure.
I don't think, though, that this was his business. I think it was, he spent $57,000 of his $85,000 relief loan on the Pokemon card. So, yeah, maybe, that's chat's like, that's a Magic the Gathering Swamps player move right there. Yep. Florida man doesn't need competition. Look, Georgia Man's giving him a run for his money. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
You know? Last couple of quick hits. Amazon is creating a God of War series. I'm cautiously optimistic. Yeah. That might be the way.
With how good Lord of the Rings looks,
yes,
I am a little more likely to let Amazon have a little bit of rope. But
boy, that's all they need to say the entire show. Boy,
video game. Video game adaptations are hard. I mean, like
I think though, if you mix the Viking style that has had a lot of success on TV with just a pinch of the Lord of the Rings kind of like
production
weird out there production quality, I think you'll be okay. The writing's got to be a little bit better, but I mean, honestly, the writing,
casting's going to be key here.
Casting is going to be key. You got to get the right person for it, but I think they can pull that off.
That's going to be
Tom
interesting.
Holland is going to make a great Kratos. Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord. That's going to be great. All right.
Last thing for the show. Got added at the last second. Thank you to chat in the Discord down below in our Identico Discord. They turned me on to this last thing. Konami is bringing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bundle to the Switch. And that includes the fighting game and all the old arcade games from back in the day in one bundle. I cannot be more excited. So all I need now is the X-Men arcade game to come to Switch, and I will be set for life. Because those games were that one and the X-Men one, actually. Let me take that one. I need the X-Men one and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one.
Like, this is legit, like, that series of games for the Switch, like, I want to run, like, an esports tournament with the TMNT fighting game.
Yeah.
At the store.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to do that.
Yeah. No. It's called the Cowabunga Collection. And it's got 13 games that were released on consoles for the Game Boy, SNES, Sega Genesis, and includes the beat-em-ups of Turtle in Time, the 2D Fighter, Tournament Fighters, which I remember from back in, I think, the SNES days. It's slated to be on PS4, PS5, Xbox, Switch, and PC via Steam. I am excited by this.
I will be buying this.
Yes.
Like, I will probably be buying multiple copies.
Probably.
That's just amazing.
There's Turtles in Time. There's Turtles in Time, and then I think there's the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game that's in there as well. At least I saw in the trailer.
I mean,
yeah,
you just can't get any better than that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like it's peak all of it. So I'm here for it. That is exciting. We're gonna end it on a high note.
Yes.
All right.
Wow.
Alex, where can people find you when you're not running your lips with me?
I am at Alex the Humanoid on all of the social medias that exist anywhere. Tomorrow, and like many other days, but tomorrow you can find me running Identico games at Gamers Heaven in Linwood, where you will also find Mallo. But we run twice a week now. We have got Identico going. We're up to twice a week because you all have made it very popular at the store. We really appreciate it.
Yep. Come early because we're going to have to figure out seating arrangements. We have very long tables, and we'll figure it out.
We will.
But come early if you can.
Set up. Yep.
6 o'clock, by the way. 6 o'clock Pacific time.
Amen. So, that's where you can find me.
Yep. You can find me everywhere at The Mallow Man. You can also find us at Identico. If you haven't already, go to our new YouTube channel, youtube.com/Identico. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the little bell notification, everything like that. If you're one of our few but mighty folks that are listening to us on the podcast, go check that out over there because there's some more content that's coming there that won't be coming to podcast soon. So go check it out there. You get to see our beautiful faces talking to you. And this coming Monday is another episode of Chaos Incorporated, where I was at last week. Actually,
and you're gonna start this week because
I'm gonna at least start this week, so I gotta figure out how to get 5 people on the stream.
We left it on a cliffhanger.
We did leave it on a cliffhanger. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully everybody will be back with us this week. It's fun playing in this one. We've had a lot of fun with it as a concept and as a story. So come join us.
little bit of light kidnapping last session.
Just a little bit, but it was just it was a fun little fueled party.
It was good.
Everybody got a little loose. It's cool,
and that's
it's cool.
what that YouTube's there for. Go back and catch up on the old episodes.
Yeah,
and
go check it out.
It's funny.
So we appreciate you so much. Check out our sponsors. Check out our links below and everything like that if you want to support the game. Otherwise, we shall either see you up at Gamers Heaven tomorrow, or we will see you on Monday right here, 6 p.m. PST. Until then, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Drink your water. Take your vitamins. I was going to say wear a mask, but that's all going away. So go get vaccinated. So if anything happens,
wear a mask if you still want to.
Yeah. Stay safe.
If you're comfortable,
that's the biggest thing. Go stay safe.
Stay safe.
Do the thing that it takes to stay safe.
For you and yours.
Yes. And we love it. We love you. And we'll see you next week, okay?
Bye.
Mwah! Good night, everybody.